Ladies and gentlemen, the Champions League is back, and that means one thing: the Prediction Master is back to do more predictions. It is awesome to show the prediction videos, so I'm bringing it back here for match day 1 from the Champions League. The new Champions League, the league campaign is underway tonight, and for match day 1, I'll be predicting all 18 games. A lot of games to go through. It'll be more of a quick fire than normal, but absolutely cannot wait to get into it. Let me know in the comment section before we start, what's your favourite game coming from the first match day of action from the Champions League? To be honest, I cannot wait for Milan Liverpool. That's my pick. With that being said, ladies and gents, let's get straight now into our Champions League match day 1 predictions. The first game is in Italy. It's Juventus and PSV. Two sides starting the year off very, very solid. Juventus obviously coming off the back of 2 0-0 draws and wanting to really stamp their authority here in the competition after a year hiatus in many regards. Still won a trophy, the Coppa Italia, in the domestic season, but really struggled and want to establish a name back amongst the European top teams. A great chance here at home to establish himself. The key players obviously are going to be Vlahovic down the middle with Koop Miners in behind him as the creative players. We need to see more from the wingers in this game here if they want to get a positive result versus a PSV side who have been fantastic in the Netherlands this season and last season, dominating the league win after win. They have gone to start the season off without either drawing or losing a game. They are on fire right now. And for me, Joey Veerman will be the key player. Has been performing at such a high level since going back to his club side after a very disappointing Euro 2024 campaign. Both sides attack well. Juventus are better defensively, and that's why I've got them having the edge here. The home advantage and the defensive solidity, that's why I backed them in. They haven't conceded so far in the league season, and I think they'll concede a goal here, but they'll still win the game. 2-1 for me. Juventus get over the line and get a good start to life in the Champions League for this season. Cue the jokes. It's Young Boys versus Aston Villa next. The Swiss side have been awful. They've been playing like young boys, sitting bottom of their league in Switzerland, really struggling for form. A team that's sort of become established in the Champions League for some reason in recent years. A team that's frequently appeared and has played my boys, Manchester United, a few times, but really struggling this season. Really poor form in the league despite qualifying and beating Galatasaray in the qualifying phases. They come against an Aston Villa side who are in great form right now. Unai Emery has established a real attacking identity in his Aston Villa side, and they've been made for this type of competition. Went very deep in the Conference League last season, not quite all the way, but I think they'll bring that confidence over here to this competition this season. Unai Emery is renowned with winning European trophies. I think he'll get a really strong Aston Villa side deep into this tournament. They might be a bit of an underrated side going deeper in the tournament. I expect them to get off to a fantastic start here. Ollie Watkins got a goal on the weekend. I think he'll once again get in the score sheet. And I expect a really massive performance from John McGinn in midfield. I think he'll be a real pivotal figure in this game here. Aston Villa, despite being away from home, I give them the advantage. 3-0 for me, beating up in a very really poor young boys side to start the season off. Our next game sees the reigning champions Real Madrid hosting VfB Stuttgart. Madrid, a shaky start to the season, we can say that, but getting results nonetheless. They come off the back of an impressive victory versus Sociedad on the weekend. Yes, 2 penalties, but they're finding some confidence. And I think Vinicius Jr., Kylian Mbappe and Rodrigo, they make their mark as a front three in this competition here. Real Madrid, they are renowned with Champions League performances and Champions League nights. And yes, Champions League nights have come forward and probably at an ideal point for Real Madrid. I think they get their season kicked off here versus VfB Stuttgart. I saw that's a very attacking side. Showed some good passages throughout different games this season. Got a big win on the weekend versus Mönchengladbach, but have really struggled for that same form which we saw last season, missing obviously some key names. Obviously, Dennis Undav is their key for me. Down the middle, can he find at the back of the net? Even the likes of Demirovic up top as well, and Fabian Rieder as well as some more attacking players. They push numbers forward. They can get at Real Madrid on the counter-attack, but I think Real Madrid are just going to be too good for me. Jude Bellingham coming back into the side. We know how good they can be on Champions League nights. The big names are there. They're the Galacticos for a reason. I think they get off the campaign to a really solid start. I'm going with a 4-1 Real Madrid win versus Stuttgart. There's going to be goals galore. Both sides are very good going forward, but are lacking a lot of confidence defensively as such. I've got Real Madrid getting 4 goals and winning this game, 4-1. We move to Germany as Bayern Munich host Dinamo Zagreb, and what could be a really one-sided affair here. Bayern finding form in the league on the backs of a 6-1 win versus Holstein Kiel on the weekend. Obviously, Jamal Musiala is the key for this side. Gets everything going, gets everything ticking for the side, working in tight areas, getting goals to his game as well. Harry Kane, we know how good he has been for Bayern in the Champions League since moving across. This is a side that was very impressive, made the semi-finals of the Champions League last season and started the league season off under Vincent Kompany very, very solidly. João Palhinha midfield, Michael Olise, two Premier League players that have joined the Bayern Munich side and have hit the ground running and performed very, very well, as well as the rejuvenation of Joshua Kimmich as well in their side. They're a very solid unit, awesome at home, and I don't give Dinamo Zagreb much of a chance. They're going to be a team that will look to try and get most of their points at home, where it's a very hostile environment and a very tough place to go play football. But travelling here, it's going to be a very, very tough game. They had a loss to Hajduk on the weekend. And if we're going to get anything from this game, that back four or potentially a back five will have to be very, very solid for me. With that being said, I think Bayern control this game. They cruise in the end. I'm going with the Bayern Munich 3-0 win over Dinamo Zagreb. Too much quality in the final third and too much talent and experience on the big Champions League stage. We have another one-sided affair, I feel, coming next. We'll go to Portugal as Sporting Lisbon hosts Lille in what could be, as I said, a really one-sided affair. Sporting have started the season off fantastically well in the league, yet to drop any points, scoring goals for fun. 19 goals already scored this season in 5 games under the guidance of Amorim, who's obviously being targeted by Liverpool, Manchester United in the past as well. A great attacking manager that's got a great striker right now, Victor Gyökeres, who've been on fire to start the season off. You've got Goncalves on the flank as well, and a really solid, a creative midfield area as well. At home, I give them a higher chance of absolutely bossing this game for me. Little struggle the season off so far. They've gone this 5-back formation, but haven't really looked good at all. They were exposed by Marseille earlier in the season and really lack conviction in their play. A shadow of what they were last season. Yes, they may come good as the season gets on, but they're coming into a red-hot Sporting side. I think that will tear them apart at home. Gone with a 3-1 Sporting win for me. Too much talent and too much attacking quality for Lille to prevent. Our next game is the big one from the San Siro. AC Milan hosts Liverpool, and this is going to be a real massive game. Milan have played themselves back in some form, some more positive results after a shaky start to the season, especially on the road versus Parma. But the likes of Rafael finding form in the Nations League. I think Reinders, the Dutch international, has been fantastic in midfield areas, alongside Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Christian Pulisic, who've continued to perform at such a high level. They are such an attacking side, and we're seeing that they struggle defensively with such a high line. They can get exposed on the counter-attack. I think that's where Liverpool have their avenue to win this game of football for me. That front three, Diogo Jota, Mohamed Salah, and Luis Diaz, with the creative Dominic Szoboszlai behind them, is going to be really, really dangerous for AC Milan to prevent. I think there's many goals in this game here. I think Liverpool is so creative. Yes, they got a disappointing loss at home in the weekend to Nottingham Forest, but their side is so talented and so skilled. I think AC Milan, their style of football and how exposed they are at the back, is going to create a great vulnerability which Liverpool can expose in this game here. It's going to be a back and forth affair. Both teams very good going forward. Obviously, Milan at home are a very dangerous side and a tough team to go and play against. But I back Liverpool in. Arne Slot gets his side off to a big win for me. Going with a 3-1 Liverpool win here on the road at the San Siro. We stay in Italy for our next game as Bologna host Shakhtar Donetsk. Bologna starting the season off very disappointing. Obviously, they lost a lot of key players. The loss of Joshua Zirkzee, moving away Thiago Motta, the coach, and also the big loss for me is the captain Lewis Ferguson with an injury. So a lot of their identity from last season and their attacking football has gone out the window. They've become more of a defensive counter-attacking unit. At home, many people see them as favourites, but for me, Shakhtar come into this game as the team more likely at the win for me. I like the looks of Sudakov in midfield alongside Bondarenko in midfielding. These talented Ukrainian players that a lot play with each other for the national team. That continuity and that experience for some of these players in major tournaments will get them over the line. This one here, Bologna is a fresh-faced team, a team with a lot of young players, and a team that is just going to gel together, start the season off. We've seen so far really struggled in the league and in the relegation zone for a reason. I think Shakhtar, after the back of their 5-2 win on the weekend, continue that good vibes and get in a massive away win. Gone with a 2-0 result for me. I think a massive result to go to their Champions League campaign. I think Bologna, it's going to be a real tough campaign in the Champions League for them. Our next game sees Sparta Prague hosting RB Salzburg. And I'd be lying to you if I could tell you everything about these two teams. But coming into it, I see a real even type affair here. Sparta Prague. I'll look at some of the names in this team sheet. Rahmani, Harassling at top. These are dangerous players for them that could find the back of the net. They've got a very, very good start to the Czech league season, sitting top of the league without a loss. And then you look at Salzburg, also had a solid start to the league season, but come off a tough loss to Rapid over the weekend. So it's going to be a different occasion for them. Can they bounce back? Can they perform this game here? I think it's going to be a very congested, tight battle. Again, this new league format's going to make every point so valuable. So it's going to be a real back and forth scrap of an affair. As such, I can't see either side going on to win the game. I've got a 1-1 draw between the two teams. As I said, it's going to be a really tight, contested affair with both teams happy to take a draw from their opening game. We move to France for our next game as PSG host Girona. PSG, a fantastic start of the season so far, almost faultless under the new regime there. Obviously, Luis Enrique's second season at the club, they went so deep last season and was very impressive in the Champions League. But without Mbappe there, it's a real freedom given to this side here. I like the look of Bradley Barcola as being fantastic in this new free role. Ousmane Dembele is coming into some great form as well. And the work of Fabian Ruiz in midfield has been dynamic as ever and continuing that form from the Euro 2024 campaign. Obviously, we know the attacking football they can play. We know how well Luis Enrique has done in major tournaments. And I think they're due for a really, really solid performance here in the Champions League in general. They could go quite deep again, maybe a semi-final appearance for a very talented side. For Girona, obviously a fantastic season last year. They've struggled this season. A lot of key names have left the club. I think for me, the attacking talent is still there on the break and to play through some lines, but defensively looking very, very vulnerable as seen by their 4-1 loss on the weekend to Barcelona. They're very exciting team to watch, but I think they'll leave themselves quite short when they're going to get exposed defensively due to the lack of talent there. A lot of key players lost, including Alex Garcia in the centre of the park. As such, I see PSG walking all over Girona in this game here. I've got a 3-0 win for PSG in this game. We move to Belgium for our next game. Club Brugge host Borussia Dortmund, and this is going to be a really entertaining type battle. Club Brugge, a solid enough side this season, tough team to play away against, but haven't started the season off so well defensively. I think that's going to be a key factor for them this game here. Borussia Dortmund and the new manager Sahin have been a very, very attacking side that have got at teams like Karim Adeyemi, the introduction of Serhou Guirassy, even the work off the bench of Jamie Barno-Gittens, Julian Brandt and Pascal Gross has slipped into the side fantastically well. And equally, as well as they've attacked, they've also been very solid defensively. Nicolas Soula's come to the season much slimmer and fitter, and Rierson at the back's been as solid as ever for this side here. Just to talk about young Couto, as well as joined the club from Girona as well. There's talent all over the park for the Dortmund side. I think it'll be too much talent and too much midfield control and attacking quality for me. I've got them win this game 3-1 on the road. It's going to be a tough game. It's always tough to travel to Club Brugge, but Dortmund have got the quality, they've got the talent, and they'll get over the line for me in this game here. We're in Scotland as Celtic play Slovan Bratislava in a one-sided affair, I believe. Celtic have started the league season off fantastically well. Big win versus Rangers, 3-0 only a few games ago. And I think it's going to be one of the toughest places to go play football this season. When that place gets behind the Celtic side, it's a very, very difficult atmosphere to deal with. I think it's going to be a real home ground advantage this season for Celtics in the league season here in the Champions League. Rio Hatate, for me, the midfielder, I think will be the key in the centre of the park for Celtic. For Slovan Bratislava, can't talk much about the side. They've had a good start to the season, but again, the difference in quality and what I've known how Celtic started this season off, I give them the advantage here, especially with that home form. Gone with a 2-0 Celtic win. I think the side's very solid enough at the back. There's continuity all over the park. I think that midfield quality for me, the three in midfield, including McGregor, the captain, will be too much for the side to deal with. We move to England as Manchester City host Inter Milan. Another massive clash from the opening match day of the Champions League. We know how good Man City has started the season off. Haaland in all-time form, scoring goals and hat-tricks for fun. Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva playing fantastically well. Savinho slipped into the side perfectly. And at the back, relatively strong, other than for a small blunder on the weekend versus Brentford. They're a side at home that haven't lost in such a long time. And we saw last season how difficult it is to play this team, even in the Champions League. I think Erling Haaland, in the form he's in, and even those midfielders, the creativity they've got in the side, Rodri will likely slip into this side as well, alongside Ilkay Gundogan. There's so much quality and talent all over the park. It's going to be a lot for Inter Milan to deal with. Obviously, a very talented side themselves. Had a slow start to the season. Thuram on fire up top, scoring goals for fun. A lot of danger from the wing-back position. They pushed the wing-backs on. Asema Denzel Dumfries scoring the equaliser on the weekend. But they've stuttered recently. And Lautaro Martinez, the captain, hasn't found the back of the net at the same rate which we're used to from the Copa America and also the league season last year. They will need Lautaro to be on form here if they want to get anything from this game. I think that midfield as well, Hakan Calhanoglu alongside Nicola Barella, can they control the pace of the midfield? Can they take it to the Man City midfielders? That is going to be the battle that's going to decide the outcome of this match here. Both sides very talented, both sides very well coached, both sides very attacking when they need to be as well. It's going to create for another entertaining game, but I think Man City at home with the quality they've got and the form of some of their top players get over the line for me. Got them winning this game 3-1. As I said, Inter will make it hard. They're always a tricky team to play, but Man City right now are just too good. Red Star and Benfica are our next game here. And Red Star, obviously, know how tough of a place that is to go and play your football at. I look at this side, I look at the likes of Krunic and Elsnik in midfield. These are going to be the key players for me. Can they keep more possession, keep on control of this game, and force Benfica to defend over large periods of this game here? Benfica have had a shakier start to the league season. They've struggled for goals. The new striker, Pavlidis, hasn't really found the back of the net with this same consistency as they would want. I think for me the goals were the problem for Benfica. Can they pounce on the counter-attack and nick a goal out of nowhere? Because against a set defence, they're really struggling this season. Goal was the major problem, and I think that's why I give Red Star the victory here at home in front of those home fans. And I think they'll likely dictate most of the pace of the game. I've got a Red Star 1-0 win for me. Benfica right now struggling in the league season. I think they'll continue here over into the Champions League. We're in the Netherlands for our next game. Feyenoord take on Leverkusen in what could be one of the most entertaining games from the opening match day. Feyenoord haven't quite found the form this season in the league, drawing 3 games and lacking that real ability to keep sides out defensively. I'm looking to big performances with Hanko and Belin at the back defensively. Can they hold on? Because they've had a lot of high-scoring affairs, getting 2-4 in multiple games, and giving up and dropping points, which you wouldn't expect them to do, especially with the rate PSV have been winning points. When you look at Leverkusen, obviously started and got a loss earlier in the season, but they start again. They start their new unbeaten streak, and they looked very good on the weekend. Victor Boniface and Florian Wirtz are in some amazing form right now. The likes of Grimaldo and Jeremy Frimpong are just building back into their form. And I think underrated is their midfield. Alex Garcia, Granit Xhaka, Robert Andrich have all been in very solid form and have been pivotal for Leverkusen in tight games, which we saw in the Europa League last season and also in the league season as well. If the game does become a bit stretched or tight and they need a goal in a key moment, look for those midfielders to stand up and drive Leverkusen forward. With that being said, I trust the Leverkusen side. I trust Xavi Alonso as well in big moments to make the right decisions. This team knows a big occasion, so the Champions League will be no different for them. I've got a 3-1 win for Leverkusen. They continue their good form and they get Champions League off to a great start. Our next game is Brest versus SK Sturm Graz. And I'm going to be honest, 2 teams I haven't looked much into this season. I back Brest in after, despite having a really poor start to the season, they have a lot of attacking talent. They've got a lot of quality in the final third. Jork, for me, the big striker, he'll be the guy that'll be the difference maker in this game here. Despite Sturm Graz being on top of the Austrian league, I still don't think they can get over the line for me. Brest at home, a talented side that showed a lot last season, has struggled to start the season off, but I think we'll get back into form here and get a big 2-0 victory for me to start the Champions League campaign. Next game sees Atalanta host Arsenal, another big game between an English and a Serie A club. Atalanta obviously getting a massive result on the weekend, 3-2. Only started the season off with 2 wins in the league, so mixed bag for them. But I tell you what, Ademola Lookman is in fantastic form right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if he causes problems for this Arsenal team. The back line has been fantastic. They come off the back of a 1-0 hard-fought victory versus Spurs in the North London derby. Declan Rice will be back to join this team in this game here. Obviously, no Martin Odegaard. You lack that number 10 that can break down a low block. And I expect Atalanta to employ a low block, sit in deep, absorb pressure, and neutralise the counter-attack and try and get the likes of Ademola Lookman in behind on the break, or Charles de Ketelaere as well. These 2 focal figures up top are really dangerous when they get on the break. They're really clinical finishers as well. So I think they will cause Arsenal some problems, despite how good they are defensively. I Arsenal, I think these two strikers will cause some problems for the side. With that being said, though, Arsenal have got the talent. I think Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka are the difference makers in this game here for me. Their skill and quality in the ball will be able to break down the Atalanta low block. And I think Arsenal scrape over the line on a very difficult away day. I've got Arsenal win this game 2-1. I think Atalanta will really make it difficult for Arsenal in terms of the way they set up. But Arsenal, the quality will show through it in the end. And I think Bukayo Saka is a match winner in this game here. Our next game is Atletico Madrid hosting RB Leipzig. Atletico coming off the back of a fantastic win on the weekend versus Valencia. Goals to Julian Alvarez and also Conor Gallagher, the new signings that have added a lot of pizzazz and firepower to this team here, a lot of X factor. And I think the midfield duo of Rodrigo de Paul and Conor Gallagher are going to be dynamic. It's going to be very tough and might cause a difference in this game here versus a less exciting midfield from RB Leipzig. Yes, they're a very dangerous side. Yes, they have a lot of pace in the final third. But the midfield battle here, I can see it only going one way, and that's to Atletico Madrid. In front of their home fans, I think they get the better of a Leipzig side here. I think Julian Alvarez will definitely stretch the RB Leipzig defence, who can be vulnerable at times. If I look at Leipzig, strong start. They obviously beat Leverkusen early in the season. They've been very competitive. I think for them to get a result here, it's going to be a high-scoring game. They're going to have to find the back of the net at some point and maybe a few goals at that. I think Xavi Simons, Luis Openda, Kevin Campbell as well. These three key players, the central figures this side, that get the team ticking over. They're going to have to be at their best to beat Atletico in this game here. With their banks, though, I think Atletico get over the line for me. I said Conor Gallagher, Julian Alvarez, Antoine Griezmann, who start the season off fantastically well as well. I think these guys are going to be the key players for Atleti. They get over the line for me, 2-0. I think a lot of talent on this side. We've seen from the league, unbeaten so far in the league season. I think they carry that form over here to the Champions League and start the season off in the Champions League to a very good start. Our final game is Monaco playing Barcelona. Monaco had a great start of the season. 3 wins, unbeaten currently, and played some very solid football and very expansive football at times as well, scoring some very beautiful goals. But you come up against probably the best team in football right now, Hansi Flick and Barcelona. Robert Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, even the likes of Marc Casado in midfield have been fantastic so far in this season. They have ripped apart every side they've played so far this season. Unbeaten in the league, 5 wins out of 5 games. And the talent right now is unstoppable. They're working hard with and without the ball. They're playing some great football, playing through the lines, and breaking apart any side that goes up against them. I think Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, they dominate yet again in this game here and show why Barcelona are one of the best teams in world football right now. I think the backline as well is looking at their best yet again. Jules Koundé in some great form, and I think Ter Stegen and net, scoring many goals past this great keeper as well. With that being said, I think a pretty straightforward win for me. 4-0 for Barcelona. They continue to stamp their authority and get off to a great start in the Champions League this season. So ladies and gents, that brings our predictions to an end. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Obviously a lot of key games, a lot of English and Italian games as probably the better games from this opening match. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you agree with me? What do you disagree with me? What's your biggest game coming from the first match week? And maybe let me know in the comment section down below who's a team that you might reckon goes all the way and win the whole thing. Let me know that in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, please like it, subscribe to the Players End channel for more prediction videos and podcasts. And also share the channel with mates. That would be much appreciated. Hope you have a great day today, guys. Enjoy tonight's Champions League action and the action for the next 3 days. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace.